my name is Jascha. I am coming from Vermont, born and raised in the Mad River Valley. That's the home of Sugarbush and Mad River Glen Ski Resort. So today I'm going to be talking to you about my ski collection. Previously, before SPM, I was actually living out in Salt Lake City, Utah, where I was skiing Alta every day. It was a really awesome opportunity to focus on both work and pleasure. Working in the ski industry, which we'll get into in a little bit, you get to spend a lot of time prototyping skis, which is basically just going out and having fun all day. So Utah was a really great testing ground for me to be able to focus on testing our powder ski, which is now a 107 millimeter ski. Growing up in the ski industry, my mom previously worked for Burton. I grew up in a ski town. I didn't realize that business existed out of the context of tourism until I was about 15. So it wasn't really until then when I realized that I wanted to focus my life around business. I really loved the idea and concept of how can you have sustainable economies and focus through tourism and being able to create and generate places where people can play sustainably. And so through there, I ended up going to the University of Vermont, where I studied business. I also had a minor in parks, recreation, and tourism, so really combining my love for skiing and my passion for business. That led me to graduating in COVID in 2020, where I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do now? Like most college graduates and kind of also like future graduate degree graduates. And so from there, I ended up moving to Sun Valley, Idaho, focused on small business development, and ended up calling with Renowned Skis and getting the call to come back to Vermont and to work alongside them and to help their team. So I started in customer service and social media, and I worked my way up into marketing management and prototyping and development. It was a really amazing opportunity to understand both the business attributes of product, but also the development sense for hard goods. I had previously never used a drill before, so drilling and mounting all my own skis was quite a challenge, but I welcomed the opportunity and I thought it was a really cool space to allow women to work with hard goods in a totally new way. And when I moved to Utah, I was working remotely for Renown, and I was just finding myself a little bit more curious about other passions and focusing on product development through an entirely different lens. And so the opportunity from the UO came, and I said, why not? And so I ended up leaving that role full time to come to the University of Oregon and focus on learning product development from footwear to apparel to other hard goods and learning the end-to-end process, which I really truly believe will help me in turn go back to creating product that in turn runs the communities that I grew up in. The first piece of gear I'm going to be talking about today is actually the first ski that I got to prototype. This is the Endurance 98. It is an aspen core ski, so it uses a light and poppy wood. It's super snappy. During the prototyping process, I came from a couple other competitor skis, which I really liked the rebound of. I liked how it was playful in the bumps. It allowed me to maneuver in ways that I wanted to, but I also wanted something to be really stable underfoot. I came from a ski racing background, and I had a lot of requests when it came to having a ski hold up at speed. So that's how this ski was born. This graphic is really special to me. This actually wasn't the prototype graphic or production graphic. The production graphic is this one over here. But this one we worked with a local artist and a brewery called Foam Brewers out of Burlington, Vermont to create a ski to benefit Vermont Adaptive. We did a fundraising effort and initiative, and the artist is also a tattoo artist. So it inspired me to get this on my arm. So it's a nice reminder of how you can make a really big impact in really small ways. The second piece of gear that's really important to me is my touring skis. I've actually been through a couple different versions of touring skis. I've had everything from a frame setup to an atomic shift, and now the Kingpins. These skis allow me to go to so many amazing locations. Recently, I was able to go and do a heli hut trip out in Nelson, BC with some of my friends for their wedding. And it was a really special event because we were able to ski for 7 days continuously in untracked powder, all by human performance and human power. So we're skiing 5,000 vertical feet days of ascent and just lap and lap and lap and on powder every day. So it was really cool. And I think touring is a really unique opportunity for people to be able to focus how they are impacting the environment around them and to be able to play in these spaces that are really protected and they should stay protected. So you have to be really cautious and cognizant when you're out touring, not to disturb nature, but also to be able to relish in the beauty. It's so cool actually because skis are just like little works of art. Like if you see all the top sheets, like the amount of care and detail that go into them, like for example, you see this has like glossy bits. which is really cool. One of the really cool things that you don't get to see about skis a lot is how they're laid up. So this is a really good example of showcasing a wood core with a metal layup on top. This is what Line Skis calls the gas pedal metal. So they are able to take geometric cuts out of the metal in order to affect the torsional stiffness of the ski. And so that's twisting and getting up on edge. So as a prototyping nerd, learning about the concept of what's underneath the hood was such an amazing opportunity to be able to emphasize my knowledge of product and be able to speak on it better. What are my adventure goals is a deep question. I think like every skier out there, I want to spend more time in Europe. I want to go to Japan. I have my eyes on Georgia, which is Eastern Europe. I lived in Slovakia in high school and I was able to go ski out there, and it's a totally different geography than what you get here in North America. But I've really enjoyed being in Portland because I've been able to experience the PNW. I've been able to ski at Mount Hood, up in Washington, and then also this winter spending a lot of time up in Whistler, Blackcomb, and in the backcountry there. So there's a lot of goals on the horizon, but most of them have to do with skiing. My career goals are focused within the product line management or category management space specifically. I'm also really open and welcoming the idea of merchandising, being able to combine the art and science of planning and my passion. So understanding that you need to have the context of the sport and the people who are being impacted by it, but also leveraging data to make decisions. Working at a small business like Renown, we had to be data driven in order to succeed. And so being able to leverage and work smarter, not harder, is really a mindset of mine. But I'm also really open to the idea of moving into other industries. I've loved being in the ski industry. I still think I will love to end up here someday again, but I want to be able to focus on expanding my knowledge and working in different categories and creating a more well-rounded version of myself. Thanks for watching my gear talk. I hope to see you guys on the slopes. It's called a scavalanche when they all fall. So like when you have everything lined up and it just goes, it's a scavalanche.